Yeah. No.
Wait. Okay, then they're safe. They're not going to blow up.
No,
Yeah, I got it from Canada at the border.
they were marked up 50%. Get them while you can.
Do we have Cynthia online?
We do.
You do. I'm here.
Who else are we expecting?
Do we have Framework online? Think we're good?
Yes.
Okay. In that case, it's 5:02. Let's call this thing to order. All right. Welcome, everybody. And, I know that people watch on TV land out there, so I'd just like to say, if you're tuning in on TV land, hello. It is Thursday, March 13th. And if you are watching on Facebook, be nice to us. Okay, roll call. Position 1, Carla. J.R. Russell, the chair. That's me. I'm here. Mary Himes. She said she was coming. Valerie.
Present.
Cynthia.
Here online.
Tracy. Therese.
Here.
Reese. Our
Here.
student member. Ex officio council member Chris Wigenstein. Negative. Okay, everybody's got the agenda in front of them. Are we happy with this? I got wait a minute, I have one thing that I thought was getting added on there. Oh, never mind, it's there with the luncheon sponsorship. Okay, we're good to go. So the agenda's approved. Second on this?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
On item 3, approval of the minutes from the regular meeting. That was on February 13th. That happened to be the day before Carla's 38th birthday. Okay, is everybody happy with the minutes?
They're always perfect. I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from February 13th, 2025 as presented.
I'll second it.
Okay? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Public comment. Item 4, do we have any public comments? No. Moving right along, 5:05, 3 minutes into this meeting, we're already to our stuff. Item 5, the first thing we've got is the Oak Harbor Art Plan Final Draft Approval. Did everybody get a chance to look at it? Okay, this is pretty friggin' exciting. So, I know, so is Framework up?
Yeah, we should have Framework online.
Yeah.
Bobo!
We're here. Hello.
Okay. For all the people out in TV land that are watching this, they don't know who Bobo or Leslie are, right? It's unfortunate that you can't see them because they are the ones that have put together this magnificent tome that is very exciting for our city. Now what do we do?
Well, you've had a chance to review the final submittal. Framework has also provided a presentation for City Council for us to present the plan and kind of talk through some of the main highlight points and the process. I think kind of two things here. We didn't really ask Framework to present much. I think we've presented it quite a few times and have gone over it. I was looking back and it was exactly 13 years ago today that we took the professional service agreement for Framework to City Council.
13 years ago?
1 year ago today on the 13th. Sorry.
Like third?
Yeah, no, March 13th.
Okay.
What I meant to say, March 13th, like 1 year ago today.
Well, let's
we
pass
brought
this
that
thing.
to City Council.
I'm like, well, that plan that we had 13 years ago is not good anymore? Why did we do this? Oh.
I think we've been thinking about it, and I know you guys have taken a few stabs at something similar to try and formalize these processes. So anyway, yeah, over the last year, we've been working on this. So I guess two kind of items here. One is to get your final approval as the Arts Commission of the plan, and then a motion to recommend to council to approve and adopt the plan, and we would do that by resolution. And then the second part of this is, even though we didn't really ask Framework to present anything, maybe they can walk through the presentation with us, and we can kind of review that all together on what we're going to be presenting to City Council at the March 25th workshop when we present the finalized plan to them. We will let them know at that time that we'll be coming back at the next regular council meeting, barring any unforeseen concerns or considerations that we might need to tweak, which would be April 1st for their motion of approval adoption, resolution of adoption at that time.
Okay. Valerie, you've got your hand raised? Yes. Tracy, you've got your hand raised?
There we go. Thank you. We might actually have the same thing to say. Since only the subcommittee has been able to provide their feedback at this point, I'd like to be able to open it up to the other members on the commission to say anything that they would like to say.
Valerie?
I thought it was under the impression the last meeting is that we had not all reviewed it. We were going to review it and then get together at some point before today's meeting or something and discuss this, so we're not hashing it out here, and then we could approve it today. I have no problems with the art plan. I've reviewed it thoroughly. The only issue, only suggestion I may have is for the public viewing of it, maybe make it less than 75 pages. Other than that, I thought it was great.
And to me, when I reviewed it, you guys already know my feelings. My biggest thing are the appendices. And that first appendix, or appendix, for the sample call of art, appendix 4, it is essential that is formalized somehow as we take this forward and this goes online, that that it's easy to get to. And with that, one thing, I know we talked about it, and I'm looking in the appendices on page 12. And at the bottom, it says budget. Now, and I'm a little confused about what's highlighted in blue. And it rounds in here, and it says up to 4 artists will be paid $1,000 each to develop a proposal. I know we talked about that. That's the wise thing to do, that, hey, we're looking for new art or new something, and before you task somebody to, get a bid on them, at least, like, if they do some work up, they get compensated for their work, and we put what's in here is $1,000. And to me, it shouldn't be like that exact amount, because we don't know what the scope of the piece is that we're looking for. So I was
Yeah,
going to say.
that's a good point. Good point.
Yeah, to your comment, JR, the items that were highlighted in blue are TBD, and you guys can customize it based on the specific project or the proposal that you're gonna put online. So the blue item are changeable. The numbers or the text we put in there are example.
Okay. Therese.
Langley has a rotational art program, and artists from all over the island submit their applications, and they install their art at their expense for $1,000 per year, and they get free art. I mean, for $1,000, not a proposal, Because you might not like the
No,
proposal and
the way I
$1,000
understood
is gone.
this was if we're looking for a statue of a moose and we put that out, we're looking for an artist, and 4 artists come in and say, you know, I'd like to do that. And then we say, let me see what you got. And 4 people develop a plan, and we turn around and we take the lowest bidder. So 3 people have put in a month of work and might have drafted something or drawn or done something, and they don't get any compensation.
Artists don't normally get compensated for a proposal.
We-
And then they bring up a
that-
proposal that's
we
going to be $95,000.
talked about this at one of the meetings, and that was not true.
This is for larger projects where you might want some proposals. It wouldn't be like for a moose, we want a sculpture somewhere. That would allow a process for a larger thing. So let's say it's in one of the entry pieces. You could have up to 4 artists, maybe you only want 2 or 3, that can propose what they would do in sketch form for the entry piece. So that's one way of choosing artists as opposed to looking at their portfolio and saying, okay, great, go ahead. But some of the ones that have been, that have a big impact, that's one way to engage an artist that allows some input and some confidence into what the sculpture, what the piece of art is going to be. It's not the only way to have artists be selected.
To me, it's like
If that's not clear, it should be clear.
throwing them a bone for, hey, thanks for your proposal. We know you put in a month worth of hard work, but we're not going with your proposal. And then they turn around and say, I did all that work, I get nothing. You know what? I'm
It's-
never going to go, if the next time the city comes for looking for something, don't call me.
It is for a selection process for a major artwork.
So, and I just thought 1,000, not putting a hard figure in there, it should just be that we would compensate somehow.
Yeah,
Artists,
and like Leslie said, the sections in the blue are examples or, fill in the blanks. We don't have to list 1,000 there. I think that's just really an example. We can set that amount to, whatever we feel is appropriate for the type and size of project.
or we can decide on it once we get the project. Because maybe it is 1,000. Okay, Carla?
Is it really necessary that you're picking 4 people? It seems like you would probably just pick 1 or 2 and give them money to come up with a idea.
Exactly. That's why
Yeah.
and that's why I was asking if it was, when I saw it in blue, the option to request proposals, and I was thinking, is the black part, is that hard text, or that's something that we can start playing with because
Yeah.
it'll be a living document?
And you see examples of that in that same section, just a little below there as well.
Okay.
Cynthia has her hand raised.
Oh, good call. Cynthia?
I was just going to reiterate what Brian and Leslie said, that the title of the document is a sample, and its intention is to be a template to flow in and out of the different projects. It's certainly not set in stone. So if it would make commissioners more comfortable that those variables or those numbers being paid turn into blue, make them the blue text, I think that might make you happy. But they are samples to be flexible to whatever project is coming forward.
And I'm fine with that. It just wasn't clear to me that that was a sample, because I see blue pieces around here, and if somebody's going to see blue, it's like, okay, that part is negotiable, and then it says 1,000 in print. To me, that's like, am I supposed to change that, or it's misspelled, or what? So, Tracy?
Would it solve maybe the concern if we just said to be determined instead of having an actual number?
Well, just like it has in the next paragraph down where it says the selected artist will receive, and then it has in the blue, $ full budget amount. You can put something similar to that, $ amount.
And that's where I was looking, because there was XXX in blue, which meant to me that that was negotiable. And so I'm fine with taking this as sample with like a question that would go up when it goes to council, and they read that paragraph and they say, so we're going to pick up the 4 artists and we're going to pay them $1,000 each? And the answer is, no, that's an example. And that is how this living document, once we start to implement the plan, we'll go back and put these paragraphs and write them up formally in the plan. That's my understanding now. Anybody else? And Leslie, for you and Bobo, I just want to add one thing. I was here and a couple other people were here for the waterfront planning meeting and presenting about things to do right on the waterfront and Bay Shore and putting in high-rise apartments or, all sorts of conceptual things. And I did add that we have an art plan, and the one thing that came out of the art plan, one of the biggest things were under your expertise, and what we saw was that the waterfront is very important, and Pioneer's kind of fixed, and there's one underutilized lead-in to the waterfront, and that's on Midway. So some of this development, because was just looking at the main waterfront area and not all the way back. And it's like, now you're going to see an art plan, and the art plan recommendation is to take advantage of Midway. So we have to make sure that all these different plans are talked about. So I just want to thank you guys for recognizing that and putting that in so that we can convey that further.
Yeah, and Joy, when there's big projects to be had, you guys should be all over it. Make your voice heard. And I think Dock Street is another, that's the pedestrian connection that could be really powerful.
Okay. Carla's going to say something.
I think the plan is great, and I would love to accept it. Is anybody else on board here? Should we move on that?
Let me speak just real quick to Valerie's comments. One, I apologize. I didn't get that there was a expectation for another full commission review committee. We would have had to notify that and do some things ahead of time of that. But we wanted to get the full plan to you guys with enough time to thoroughly review it and then come with any thoughts. We do have a little bit of wiggle room before we bring this to an actual adoption by council to make any last minute changes if you feel strongly about anything that way. But also keep in mind, like has been said, this is a living document. We're going to make changes to this as we go along, right? The resolution of adoption by council will make note of that, similar to other things like fee schedules or other city policies. We will as we use it, refine it and develop those forms and different resources that go along with it. As far as the length, I'm right with you. City plans that are hundreds of pages long, and when you include the appendices with this, it is a very hefty plan. And every art plan that I've worked with is similar. What I like to do is create basically a summary document for decision makers whose eyes start glazing over if you try and get them to read the whole plan, that have the main talking points, the main guidance, and the meat of the information without all the fill and fluff. And then they can review that, and we as staff will use that document as a recommendation based off of that.
Brian, does the executive summary work for you for that in that regard? That was kind of the hope for it.
Yes.
I was just going to say the presentation that you guys, Frameworks, put together to present to the city, that seems like
Yes,
a
right.
great summary to present to the public whenever we finalize the blue text. Mic on. I second the approval that Carla suggested of the minutes.
Can I add just a comment real quick? I absolutely want to, you know how excited I am for this evening and for the city of Oak Harbor that this is coming to fruition. It's been a long road for many of us sitting on the commission to see these processes and procedures come together, and I'm really proud of all the work that we've done together. And it was just a pleasure working with Frameworks on this. You're like wonderful to work with us and our community. You were very welcoming and very patient and listening. And yeah, I can't wait to hear the resolution.
And Framework has done a great job with the, TLDR, the too long didn't read, executive summary, which is the first 13 pages of the plan that have all those things outlined. Other discussion, feedback, comments?
Chris, what do you have to say? You have anything to say?
No, I'm good. I was just catching up a little bit. Yeah, no, I think we're good to go. I've got faith in all your decisions, and we'll have lots of more discussions. Obviously, it'll hit council at some point, and we'll get the opinions of others.
Well, with that, do you want, we've got a motion to approve. It's been seconded. All in favor? Aye. I don't bang a gavel or anything on this end, right? It done? Motion carries. We now have a draft art plan that will go in front of council in a workshop on the 25th. And then we'll take it to get approved. And I kind of screwed up a little bit. I should have picked this up on the agenda, but the next step out of this will be to bring this, because Valerie, what you've said about bringing this to the public. And we'll get to that when we get to item D. But Brian, we definitely have to meet up, because once we have this, we're going to have, there's two different paths that are going to have to take place. One's going to be implementation with staff of getting this plan to work, and then there's another one of the PR strategy of how we're going to exactly get this thing out into the public, and we'll have to get Maggie involved.
Yeah, and we're already in process of that, pretty heavily into that. Our next get-together internally is on Wednesday, March 19th, at 10 o'clock to talk about the art plan communication, art plan communications plan, is what I'm talking. So, yeah, that
Because
is.
here's one of my concerns on this, because still, and Leslie and Bob, I know you guys hear this all the time, but when people say art in Oak Harbor, all they think about is a statue. And then I turn around and I go on Facebook and I look at committee meetings and I look at some of the positive things that are being done in the city, and it gets posted, and then somebody chimes in on Facebook with remarks that just go the off tangent, and everybody needs to understand just how cool this is. And that's where we have to make sure as the Art Commission and the city have to be fully behind this and get the city to be excited about it and get the public to be excited about it, and then we can move forward on this.
You know, we totally agree with you because, you know, honestly, we've kind of fallen in love with Oak Harbor. But I think, you know, the OHR is a way to have kind of a campaign, for lack of a better term, to really celebrate and put out there the good things that are arts and culturally related, because they're not just for the, capital A art people, they're for your golf buddies, and, use that. I think it could be pretty powerful.
Okay, now are we going to look at the,
Yeah, would you like to review the presentation to
Yes.
council? Leslie, Bobo, can we do that? Kind of a quick, I guess, dry run through, just showing what will we be presenting? I can share my screen, or if you have it up, you can share yours.
Yeah, I can share my screen.
and while they're doing that, so Tracy, Carla, Cynthia, for all your work that you guys did on the subcommittee to make this thing be this big.
Okay.
Okay, we can see it.
Yeah. Would you like us to just walk it through slide by slide, or how do we want to do this?
Yes, please, because if I'm thinking this is going to go to us this will be our speaking points as we go forward now. We have to get rid of the training reels and the crutches, and it's our business now to sell this, and this is going to be what we're going to be using.
Yes. Okay. Okay. So let's get started. Leslie, do you want to take the lead, or I'm happy to walk through it too?
I think, maybe we should take the training wheels off, and you guys, do you,
We don't want to do it yet.
take the lead,
No,
or
we don't want to do training wheels yet.
Okay. Okay. Bobo, why don't you go ahead and do it, because you'll be there at the meeting and I'm going to be out of the country.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, so this is a very brief presentation, totally 16 slide deck. We'll go through it pretty fast. It'll take about 10 minutes or so, and you guys welcome to modify it or send us comment. We can modify it for you before the council meeting. So the agenda for the presentation will include 3 parts: a quick overview of the project, review of public engagement, existing conditions research, and then with that, we present the plan element, which include 3-part: the vision, the procedure and criteria, and then potential action for implementation. So, with that, we want to introduce the plan. This is the very first art plan for Old Harbor, and then it is designed to create a shared vision for the art and establish a clear process for supporting and growing art in the way that would benefit the public and align with city goals. So this is the overall vision and our hopes for this art plan that set up the foundation for the art to grow and blossom in Old Harbor. Quick overview of the project. So this project started about 1 year ago with a kickoff a little bit before the Holland happening, and then we have a series of community engagement that had guided this plan. So that include 3 pop-up activity at the Holland happening, at the July 4 parade, and at the September military appreciation picnic. We also have several drop-in sessions in the interpretive center that is open to the public, and focus group with the local stakeholder. The next slide shows some highlights of the number and our engagement website and ORIS campaign that people submit pictures, and the survey that were collected through the website. So the number is quite impressive. We have 341 unique visitors have visited our ORS website, and we have sent out email to connect with over 200 stakeholders in the Old Harbor. So that contact list hopefully will be a resource for all of you to keep maintaining and updating people about the plan. And then we also have a lot of conversation with local culture leader, art organization, and artists. Over 60 people attended our focus group discussion, and then we have 131 people respond to our survey. So these are very amazing effort, and we really appreciate the Art Commission have been deep involvement in all of this process. So with that, we summarize the theme that we heard from the outreach. So several key themes emerge from here. People would love to enhance arts visibility, improve connectivity between key area like downtown and waterfront, strengthening coordination with the Art Commission, having strong interest in new venue for performance, and then bringing art into neighborhood, and then having clear procedure for public art and management. So with these themes, we also look at the ecosystem in Old Harbor, and one of the very first one is the public art in public space in the Old Harbor, which is very impressive too. We documented more than 50 pieces of art that is owned by public or by private entity that is displayed in the public space in Old Harbor. Also, Old Harbor account for 44% of the travel impacts on the Whitby, and 60% of the lodging sales. So you guys are really a big city on Whitby, and people come here to shop, and people should come here for art. So with that, we have the online inventory for the art, which people can look through either through website or through this QR code on their phone. They can explore with the maps to see where these arts are. And we will transfer this website to the city. You guys can maintain it and add as the new arts come to Old Harbor. We also look at the economic data. Again, Old Harbor is a big city on Whitby, and we account 28% of the population. So there is a big potential here, Old Harbor, to continue invest in art. So people come here to shop, and they also come here for art. Hold on 1 second. I have a connecting issue. Okay, so with that, we want to introduce the art plan. There are 3 chapters in the art plan: shaping the vision, building the structure, and exploring opportunity. So we are hoping this very first art plan will like an acorn of the oak tree, and then it sees the vision and help the vision grow into a forest. So here is a collection of the photo we collect through community submission or through our outreach process. It summarizes a variety of activity in Old Harbor, and art is really for everybody and should be for everybody. And these summarize a vision of what OR is for Old Harbor: creating energy, having fun together, expressing meaning, so on and so forth. And then to bring the vision bring the vision to come true, we established this structure for procedure and criteria. So this procedure really includes 3 parts: from an annual meeting, a gathering retreat with the council member and art commissioner to look at the project and then select project and turn them into an action plan. And with that, we have implementation guide and worksheet to help you guide to implement these selected projects step by step throughout the year. And then on the right-hand side here, summarize the project selection criteria, which is based on the community engagement themes we heard from the community, what they would love to see art and how art resonates with their vision for Old Harbor. And then with that, we also provided a series of toolkits and forms in the appendix that include the project selection worksheet, art protocol, the RFP sample, and step-by-step from vision to public art displays guidance. And then we also include 2 sets of fieldable form. One set is for the external project candidate. So everybody in the community can submit a project for review that they would love support from the Art Commission. And then the Art Commission can use this internal worksheet at the bottom here to review and implement these select projects step by step. Okay, so the last portion of the plan summarized a list of 14 potential art-related action. So these are inspired by community input or a successful example we see elsewhere in this region. So these offer a menu of diverse and achievable projects, which also organized by theme that we heard from the engagement. So these action hopefully will respond some of the interests and concern of answer a lot of interest and concern from the community. And lastly, we just want to show how these art-related action worksheet were laid out. So one action per page, they have a project description and intent, what we hope this action would bring. And then on the left-hand side, there are clear guidance on when to implement it, near-term, mid-term, or long-term, the priority, roles of the Art Commission and the city, and then potential partner and require resources. Lastly, in the appendix, we also include a section that talk about how we can integrate art into the comprehensive plan, because an art, while you guys are doing it right now, art plan is most effective when it is aligned with the city's vision and goals. So here summarize some of the strategy, how we can embed this art-related thinking into a comprehensive plan element like land use, like park recreation, and highlighted how art can integrate with placemaking and heritage preservation. So a lot of thinking breakdown by chapter in the appendix 1 for you guys to look at it while you're working on your comprehensive plan updates. So with that, that's the quick 15 minutes overview of the entire plan. It has been really a pleasure working with all of you guys, and we included a little haiku at the end of this plan. As a mighty oak stand tall, creative roots, branches, brooms, and the arts enrich Old Harbor.
Thank you, Bobo.
They're Okay,
Okay.
nailed it.
Thank you. Yeah, let us know any thing is missing or anything you guys would like to highlight it. We're definitely happy to adjust and send it back to you all before
The
the
very
council
first
meeting.
slide that you has the agenda with the bullets and everything. The numbers
Yeah.
aren't centered in those squares.
Oh, okay.
That's my, oh, do you guys intentionally skew it off like that?
Yes.
You do?
JR.
So we're happy to put it at the center.
Okay, if that's intentional, because if somebody would like, well, geez, you start off your first slide and you can't even spell it right, or you've got things that aren't centered in the, that would be the impression or the perception, so, okay. We don't care about them anymore, it'll be our plan, put it in the center. No, okay, I'm just, Tracy.
Thanks. I just was going to check in because Chris and I noticed from this vantage point a few visibility issues. There was one slide that had a blue box in the bottom left that with white lettering. The box is probably, or the blue is probably too light to have a white lettering from this vantage point. And then some of the yellow on the TV screen or the computer screen, it looked like an ochre color, and so we could see it. But when it was up on this screen, it was so faded, we couldn't see it. And there was others up on the screen, other slides that we really couldn't see from here. So just want to check in on how this is, in what media are we going to be presenting this to the council, and or are they going to get something just printed out for them? I just want them to be able to have a good experience.
Oh, sorry. The presentation the packet is given out both digitally, and I believe they receive a hard copy as well. Is that right? No? Do you guys usually not have?
We do
hard copies
not,
anymore?
we don't,
We've gone paperless.
We
That's
go,
good.
we go,
Save the
everything
trees.
we get from the Agenda Center, or it's a controlled link.
Yeah.
But there's no, if we want hand copies, we'd have to,
Yeah, the only time they get a paper copy is if there's been a change in the presentation.
correct. Our agenda packets can be upwards of 900 pages. I don't think we've used paper copies for years. Yeah, that's a lot of paper to
But
print.
they'll have a digital copy of it. It won't just.
Yeah.
And I think this is simply limited by
They'll
the
get
quality
it.
of our projector.
We'll
right here,
get it
but-
probably Friday, Thursday, either late Thursday evening, this time in the evening, or Friday morning sometime. Typically it shows up, which will be when we get access to it from that point. A couple things while I got the mic.
Yes.
You shouldn't have gave it to me. I want to just reiterate the visibility. If that's the PowerPoint we're going to use, that needs some bold and color changes so that it can be crisp. I have light sensitivity issues, so I wear my sunglasses until I get good ones in here with these fluorescents, because they'll get headaches. And so it makes it challenging sometimes to see some things in different glares from up here. I even went to the live, and even some of the light blues are not quite, we might need to bolden them up just a little bit so that everybody who's got, it's a gorgeous presentation. We just need to make it visible for everybody, and I just wanted to reiterate that. And then, Brian, I need to chat with you afterwards, because I still don't have any emails coming from you guys in regards to Art Commission. That's what I was looking for, because I was looking for things to kind of reference, and I couldn't find them, so. If you'll get with me later.
In whatever format this is, when it comes to us to present, we will be able to make changes to this? So it's like in PowerPoint or whatever the media, so that.
Yes, this is PowerPoint.
Okay.
From an artistic standpoint, Reese and I were just looking at the very front cover page of the arts plan, and that peachy color that's in the corner, that might help that font pop on that one page that Tracy and Chris were talking about. I understand the color complementary reasons, but I think having something where you can visibly read it, because I had it zoomed into almost 200% on my laptop, and I could barely read the one in the blue text that you guys were talking about. So, but just a suggestion.
Anything else? Mary?
Thank you. It was very well put together, and it levels Oak Harbor up with the minor details that has to do with just the visuals, but overall, the plan is professional and well put together with the information that's going to be needed by the community to move forward and create the best, I guess, art structure or artistic structure for our city. So thank you very much.
So Brian, is staff going to take this PowerPoint and work with Framework to make the changes? Somebody on staff going to take this so that it pops?
Yeah, we could probably tweak some of the contrast and just make it a little visually easier on
I mean,
the
it
eyes.
just, if we're fighting doing the plan right, it's like, this is where people are going to see it. That's where they're going to see it. Let's make sure that they can see it. And if you need something, help on that.
As long as
Yeah.
it won't make Bobo cry that we're messing with the color scheme too much. I kind of feel like going in, the Mona Lisa smile looks nice, but it'd be nice if I could really see the teeth better,
You just got to be able to read it, though. I mean, that's the big point.
Yep.
So, yeah, but today's generation, that's.
Yeah, we can make,
All right.
And we're
we can
happy.
make some tweaks.
Okay.
Yeah, we're happy to scale things up. That's easy for us.
Okay, Brian, we'll leave that with you and Framework to make those little tweaks. I think we're done talking about this. Are we done?
JR, I just have one question before we move on.
Okay.
I know I
Cynthia.
have it in my calendar for the 25th. Does any other arts commissioners schedules allow them to be at the workshop to support the presentation?
We've got all sorts of hands going up, so
What
yes.
time is it?
The workshop is at it starts at 1:00. Usually Parks and Recreation agenda items are the last ones in the workshop, so you can. Yeah, I think we have a couple things on that agenda, including a comp plan update. So
We'll know more about the time framing once you get the agenda and what's ever on it. But if we do have comp plan ahead of it, it's going to be a long afternoon.
just a reminder that council doesn't normally take public comment during the workshop, but if we want to have someone from the Arts Commission, speak to a portion of it or talk about, the process or give the motion recommendation to council and say a few words as part of that presentation, I think that would be appropriate.
Okay, we'll get with you and discuss that.
Okay.
Nice job, Framework.
Thanks.
It only took me
Dan?
a whole year to figure out that the little number was in the corner because that was part of your thing. Sorry about that. The whole time I was like, "God, they can't even get the thing centered in the box." Okay,
Well, you're a magician. We're hoping for great things, and if you guys, want, check in with us, feel free, to find us. We'd be happy to.
okay. Well, we're going to go on to item 5B. You can go on to dinner if you want.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks, Leslie. Thanks, Bobo.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thanks.
Okay, let's go on to 5B, Chalk Fest 25. I know Cynthia's online, and I guess the question is, where do we stand with getting the funding on this? Well, it's
Brian, I think you should go. It's in your court now.
Okay, so we met with Terry and Cynthia. They put together a business plan, event business plan for Chalk Fest that outlines the kind of the mission of it, the economic benefit of art in the community, touches on tourism and visitor attractions, supporting local business, arts and culture investment, outlines the event objectives as well as outlining the event budget, and then highlights the funding sources with the LTAC grant award of $17,000 and the Arts Fund budgeted item for $35,000, and then the funding ask from the Arts Fund balance for an additional $23,000. That includes the $18,000 shortfall to get to the total $70,000 budget that was the target for the event, as well as an additional $5,000 to put on the festival, and we would do that internally as a city. We did have some conversations around other organizations possibly running that festival, like the Chamber. Heard back that they're kind of pulling it back from event management, so the city would step up to do that portion of the event. We are bringing the presentation of the event and funding ask to council at the March 25th workshop, along with the art plan. It'll probably be after the art plan, and just presenting that to council and kind of getting their thoughts and feedback. And if there's no concerns or issues there, then that'll go back to council at the next regular council meeting for approval of the budget ask.
Therese?
Is there a date for this?
Yeah, it's the
festival?
July 25th through the 27th. It'd be held at Windjammer Park.
Cynthia, you have anything to add?
Nope, nothing to add. Just anxious to get through the calendar days. It should go to council after presentation of the workshop on April 1st's regular meeting. And Terry has been kept abreast of all these dates. He's anxious only because of the outreach to those that are traveling into town. So
Cynthia, one of the items that came up as we were putting together the presentation for council was some of the little more particulars that we're not quite there yet, but might be asked about, like what are we anticipating the event hours would be. I don't know, like how long the artists are on site doing the artwork or presenting the artwork on the third day. But we'll kind of want some idea for, all right, the festival activities will be going on during this time, or you can come and see the artists working during this time. Any idea around event time frames?
That's a good point, Brian. What are the park hours legally are from like dawn to dusk or something?
Yeah, it's 6 to 10.
Okay. I will call Terry tomorrow with those questions. Was there anything else that came out of conversation?
Tracy, you have a comment?
I just thought of something when you were talking about hours. So if the art is up overnight, is there any concern? Is there any best practice about security or how to secure it or anything like that?
I would definitely lean on modern enterprises who are paying an event management fee for. The event logistics, everything around, they handle everything around the artists. Scheduling, getting the artists, scheduling, doing the negotiations, travel, accommodations, and then staffing the event. And I would anticipate that would include the security of the site as well. Even though this is a temporary art installation, there's a lot of money that goes towards this. So yeah, there is an investment there that we would want to protect.
All right. Any other discussion? we'll move on to 5C, the wrapping of the boxes update. And I think what we're looking for right there, do we have the requests gone out to the three?
Sorry, JR.
Oh.
Sorry, if I may, just real quick, because I wasn't at the last Arts Commission, I just want to verify, did you guys pass a motion of recommendation for the additional funding?
Yes.
To council at those last one? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, great.
Okay. And then going on, the question then goes to you guys for the 3 bids for the electrical box, if those guys have, or those companies have been notified.
Yes, so I've talked to procurement today. The RFP is out. The vendors will have until March 27th at 2 o'clock to submit their bids. And at that point, we will move forward with the process to review those bids.
Okay. If we only have 1 bid, does that mean that's it?
We'll still have to review them, and we'll still have to bring the 1 bid to it. It would depend on the price of the bid. If it's for $1 million, we would
Right.
probably want to go back out, but if it was reasonable, then we would move forward with that
Okay.
bid.
Are we only looking at places on island for bids, or are we looking at off-island places as well?
We sent out the bid to the system, so it has been out to everybody that is within our system for procurement. So everybody within the state of Washington, I believe, has access to this bid.
Okay, I just didn't know if we were limiting ourselves to the island or exposing everywhere.
Okay, so now we'll go on to item 5D, and I added this one on. Now that the art plan is going to be ready and hopefully gets approved, and it's like, okay, let's bring this on the road. So I went to the chamber, and they offered us a sponsorship slot in May. So that means we could present the art plan and give this slide presentation to the chamber in May. And it costs us $400 to do that. And I think that's within our discretionary funds to pay. And the city has a membership with the chamber, so we didn't have to pay a special membership fee. And then we can go over there and make one of us, maybe me, just go over there and make a presentation to the chamber on what the art plan is. So I would move that we pay the $400 to be the sponsor for the May Oak Harbor Chamber of Commerce meeting, to present the art plan. Did you say, I didn't hear you, Chris?
I just said luncheon.
Luncheon, yeah. Yeah, okay. Second, okay. Any discussion? Because the next part of that would be, okay, we've done the, what's for lunch? We'll have done the chamber. We should be doing one of the Front Street meetings. Main Street, Front Street. Dun, 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 dun. All right. Hit the EDC. We can go and do the Lions Club. We can go do the MOA, and as much visibility as we can get on this to explain to people that what the art plan is, why it's important to them, and how they can help. So, and that would be this group here, because I know, Mary, you've talked about, hey, we got to go out and be, the champions of this, but this would be a good chance for us to help inform everybody. So I just throw that out here because that would be like the next step. Yep,
JR,
yes,
as, I love the idea of taking it on the road to the community and being ambassadors. And as the PR plan is rolled out, maybe one of the bulleted discussion points could be kind of a one sheet, tack sheet for us to carry around with a cute, not kind of like we had when we were promoting the OH or Arts Is, about the art plan for people to check out.
so you hit it all, yes. So when we meet with Maggie and for the PR rollout of the art plan, we can discuss all of these future items, but the immediate one is to let's get to the chamber luncheon on in May. So we got $400 approved to do that. Anybody else got any discussions? Man, were we going on to subcommittee updates? No. Oh, yeah, yeah, okay.
Okay, I'll say something.
Yeah.
I'm not so sure that we really should do that yet. I want to make sure the council like accepts it and everything. I mean,
You could amend it to be contingent upon council approval.
Okay, contingent
All right.
upon council approval. It's in May. Yeah.
You should, hypothetically, you should be fine. I'd still put that on contingent, because you never know what, there's 7 of us on council. They might go 7 different ways. You're gonna know next week how the council looks at it.
That's what that's,
Correct, right? So, yeah, most likely May's perfect, but, you know, the reality is if there's any question, just put a contingency in there so you're not stuck.
okay, so if if the plan's approved, and we want to take this on the road, our first opportunity will be in front of the Oak Harbor Chamber luncheon in May. They have a slot for us. It costs $400, and I'd like to use our funds to pay for that. That's, okay? Now, hey, quiet down over there. So,
Just add contingent to the approval of
Contingent.
plan, JR.
Yep, contingent to the status of the plan. Okay, all in favor? Okay, it passes. Subcommittee updates. I don't think we've really had subcommittee updates. Yes.
I'm still on one that I get emails to, but a couple months ago, we talked about not going to them until the art plan was approved, so should I be taken off of this list?
I can't hear you, Valerie.
There's several subcommittees. I was on one, and I keep getting an email. I'm added to the group to come, but I thought a few months ago we had discussed not going to certain ones because of waiting for the art plan to be finished. So I don't know if I need to be taken off that roster. I haven't attended in a few months, so.
I would say stay on, because once the art plan's approved, the first thing that we're going to be looking at is a strategic meeting, and that would be one of the things, like, okay, where do we have to be? And as long as, you know, instead of measure twice and cut once, this would be one of those.
We don't have any current recurring subcommittee meetings currently. If
Right.
you're seeing something on your calendar, maybe it was left over, but,
It's the Park and Rec one?
Yeah, the one that we would go to, this.
oh, the,
Special events.
yeah, so the our commission has withdrawn from that subcommittee. It's just being done by the Parks and Recreation Commission now. You shouldn't be on that anymore, but I'll double check the invite and remove you. You're always welcome to come though.
Oh, I know that, but I just thought we were holding off until the art plan. We were holding off until the art plan was done, and then we were going to resume those meetings. I am still getting the alerts. I don't mind that. I just was making sure, am I supposed to be there or am I not supposed to be there?
Yeah, I do, you're right. I do still have JR, Valerie, and Tracy on there, yeah. So I'll take you guys off there if you don't want to have that joint subcommittee. It's totally up to you.
Leave us on there for the invite. We'll measure twice and cut once.
Okay.
We might decide to be players in this in the future, and as long as we're, you know, we're already on the invite list, then we could say, okay, we're back. We've now have purpose in life. Now we're going to item 5E, which is subcommittee updates, which we really don't have anything, but we do have the fact that it's Mary's last meeting. Do you want to say anything?
I'm so glad.
Oh, maybe,
Is she,
I just
is she
thought-
talking?
well, it's still this is your last one. Do you
I
have-
believe that I had suggested that there was some kind of farewell poem, haiku, limerick.
She looked a little bit scary. You know, my time here on the Arts Commission has been amazing. We've done some amazing things in the past 4 years, starting with when I first came on, getting really getting through the parts of getting the art installations around town in place. The one that's in front of the Boys and Girls Club, the one down in front of what is that? By Windermere. And then we have some more installations, the oak, the acorn right on Pioneer. We have the obelisk, yes. And then we've also gone through the ups and downs of being a non-political portion of society in this town, and then coming through with our dignity intact and holding ground and bringing art to Oak Harbor. We have stuck together as a unit and remain professional and consistent, but we've also taken the opportunities to step back, grow, and become a better commission, to listen to community, create an art plan. That's a big deal, considering where we started, and it was probably before I came, it was pretty rough, and there was not a lot of accountability, as I want to say, structure. So in the last 4 years, we have created structure, we have created accountability, and we have made a difference in the city of Oak Harbor. I think that moving forward, this commission will continue to make an impact. Specifically, when the council stated what kind of economic development will art bring to the city. And I think that this art plan came from that question and motivated this commission to move forward and create something, because art is important and art does make a difference. And if Oak Harbor intends to make any type of impact in the state of Washington and the rest of the United States of America, accepting that change is taking place and going to take place, and accepting that there's an opportunity to grow and create tourism in a place that in some cases wants to stay the same, but the commission continuing to stay focused on community and growth while still maintaining the uniqueness of Oak Harbor. I think that that is a great balance, and I think that this commission will continue to do that. And I hope that the next person that takes my space will be able to bring in new ideas and fresh outlooks.
Thank you,
And now I
Mary.
have a poem.
Now you looked it up? You went to Chat GPT. I can see it right there.
I carry it in my phone
Okay.
all the time. This poem is called Aperture. You will be able to find this poem on the website of the Whidbey Institute. And this is part of my initiative with them, that I put a poem every month as the Poet Laureate of the Whidbey Institute. Aperture. To wake in a familiar land and find it unrecognizable. The eyes have rested wide for so long and now have lost focus. While the place seems like old times, there are moments of blurred and unfocused direction. Holding the lens steady as to reconnect the current to the life that exists somewhere else. To wake in a familiar land and find it unrecognizable. The eyes have rested wide open for so long and now have lost focus. Steady now, play in the light. Don't force it, don't rush. Steady, and all will come into focus. Yes, it is here. The land is still alive. Breathe. Let the senses guide our sight. Let memory remove the discomfort. The land is still here. To wake in a familiar land and find it unrecognizable. The eyes have rested wide open for so long and have now lost focus. See the blade of grass coming into view, a mighty sword defending the soil. Focus on the smallness, pull back and widen the view. The single blade is not alone. Move the aperture of your mind. Let the eyes lead the focus. Believe what you see. There is hope in focus. Believe what you see. There is hope in the focus. The vision gained, unity acknowledged, all becomes sharpened blades of grass, protecting the land as it feeds our rooted souls. To wake in a familiar land and find it unrecognizable. The eyes have rested wide open for so long and have now lost focus.
Ooh. Yeah.
Tic-tac in your mouth.
Reese can't, she doesn't know how to snap.
Okay. Again,
All right.
thank you, everyone.
5F Park and Rec Director updates. Brian, do you have anything for us?
So we did get a proposal from Cherie McLean, to utilize the oak wood that we have from the post office building for an art installation. We included the Gary Oak Society on that request, and they are in support of that. We've asked Cherie to come to the next Art Commission meeting. She's recovering right now from surgery, and she'll be here next month to present that art project. We also have the Parks and Recreation Commission looking at the interpretive sign for the Angel of Creativity, and they wanted to kind of see what the CA a proof of it and look of it for placement, just to give some thoughts and feedback. We got a quote for $914.51 for a 4-foot sign, for the interpretive sign for the angel. And yeah, we'll have more discussion on that item. Let's see here. Hal Romelli Park. So we are reviewing some conceptual design plans for a possible renovation of that space. Should development happen in that area, there would be a swap of value for any property that is owned by the city that would be developed on, and that value has been proposed to come to the city in the form of renovation of that park space. There is a number of little art pieces within the park that we've had conversations with the garden club on their desires around some of those. So they're considering that, but there's also opportunity for installation of additional art pieces. The general concept is to provide a little more of a green space than a plaza like it is now. A little more of a usable space, have kind of a bistro set up and really try to activate the space, encourage people that are going to a conference or training at the hotel that's proposed to come down into the park space. So we might, at some point, if application is submitted to the city with official plans for review, then we'll bring that to the Art Commission for your guys' feedback. But maybe just to kind of get it on your radar and have some thoughts about, hey, if we have the opportunity to renovate this space and kind of beautify it and make it into something new, what would you like to see there? And if there's a opportunity for placemaking some artistic element, which really was the original intent of the Arts Fund, was with new development to have a fund for placement of public art related with that, what would that look like? So something to give some thoughts on, and we'll probably be bringing that back to you at a future point. I think that's all I have. And we already talked about the upcoming workshop and city council meetings, and we'd love to have anyone who can attend those in support of the art plan and the Chalk Fest presentation there to join us.
Okay. Member?
Only question is about Sherry coming next month.
Yes.
We already had someone come last month that was talking to us about the Bruiser statue or installation down at the college, and we kind of said, once we get the art plan in place with the forms, we'll contact you. So, I mean, I'd love to hear a presentation, but we really can't move forward until city council approves the plan, and I don't want to waste her time. I don't want her to feel like, oh, this is it, and now I got to wait. So I'm not sure if she would be wanting to wait, or if we should wait, or if we should just listen to her and tell her what we told the lady last month and the month before. No, we've done that the last two meetings.
That's a great point.
Thoughts?
I will just say for this one, I believe that the request is for the wood to install a piece at the, is it Crescent Harbor School? Yeah, it's one of the elementary schools. Yeah, and I think the ask is only for the wood. I don't know that they have a funding request or anything like that. Yeah.
I don't have a problem with that. In fact, I would encourage, now that they want to do this, we could send them a sample template from Appendix 1, even though it's not approved. If you just want to come up and talk, hear me out.
This is what we did last month.
No, but we didn't, but the month before, we did listen to somebody. And that had a form that came through, and we listened to it. There is nothing, we're going to listen to it sometime. And if somebody wants to turn around and come and talk to us, then we can listen, then we don't have to approve anything. And it's almost like I could do it, come here in person, or I could do it in public comment. So I don't think we have to shun them away. I'd like to hear what they say, and then that leads us to like, hey, when we have our first strategic meeting and the plan's approved, we will have a couple of things that'll be right on the docket that we can start looking at.
I'll also say, there's no time frame for this. So if you'd like her to wait and come to a future meeting, I'm sure she'd be happy to do so.
My only part of shaking my head is providing documentation that hasn't been approved. Any sample, regardless if it's a sample, should not go anywhere until council approves it. We expose ourselves to some other things.
Should still be using the old form until the new stuff's in place.
There isn't a form. There isn't a form.
Then let
Then-
them come talk
Yeah.
and listen and hear what they have to say,
Yeah.
and
Yeah, I'm
give
just
them a
saying,
recommendation at that point.
any documents that go out and they're not approved, we end up with some type of exposure that, even though it seems minimal, we should not approach that way.
I'd like to see it expedited if we're just going to give them wood and they're going to turn it into art and put it in front of an elementary school. Postponing everything is what we've always done. Let her present it, and if you're just going to give her some wood and let her get started. It's not money. City council isn't going to grovel over some wood that's been up there for 15 years.
Better it's off our end.
If
Well,
they're not, yeah,
there's a lot of wood.
exactly. Okay, Tracy?
So I have a question for all of us then. Are we here to just direct projects that require our money? Or are we here to direct art for the community regardless of money being involved?
Points. I think that we didn't, inside of any art plan or any discussion, say money or no money. So we did say that the art plan was in order to create a format for installations that came through the city. And so if we are staying in line and following process, then we should follow process every time, because previously, we had no process. Just do it, because we're Oak Harbor, we're small, and it's not a big deal. But this is the whole point. If we create process and stay on process, then everyone will expect the process, regardless of how small. Everyone went through the same process, and then that becomes the fair process.
So are we going to invite them to come next month to talk about the wood? Do we have to take it to a vote, or? So, I, well, well, the month before, when they were talking about, it was completely unknown of any scope. They weren't asking for.
No, they were asking for guidance, but, you know, who knows, we could, I just,
And always tell the person, you can present, but we won't be making any decisions until.
yeah.
Now they can decide if they want to come or not, and then they don't feel shunned, and their feelings are not like, making this small. And then now, but again, they can know that it's going to be a waste, but they can still make a presentation.
Okay.
I'm
So
okay with that.
now we'll go on, because with the determination of future agenda items, I'd like to keep the exact agenda that we have right now, because these items are still like alive, and then we could add the oak, the wood on there.
Chair, I have a couple of items, please.
Okay?
Brian did report in his comments about the angel sign. I actually, you know, I'm the person that rewatched that meeting from Monday with Parks and Rec, and it was the first time I ever heard of a sign being done. I know that there was, they were going to work with Sculpture Northwest to do it. But, so if we could put that on as a discussion item, because that sign is going in Flintstone Park, and there's all kinds of talk around Flintstone Park still. And then the second would be, excuse me, the second would be an update on the last two Kidden Brews. I know we tabled their installation till spring, and spring's knocking on our door. Thank you.
Okay. So art plan, Chalk Fest, electrical box update, the chamber luncheon sponsorship, Angel signage, the Kinnebrews, and the Jerry Oakwood, if she's available and wants to come, we'll make a spot for her. Yeah.
The Gary Oakwood person, they're wanting to come because I'm not, must not have all the information. So they're wanting to come and present about what they want to do with that piece of wood on, potentially on one of the schools, right? I'm looking at JR, but Brian, yeah.
Yeah.
That's, they're looking for supplies, not necessarily anything else, right? So why, do we have to wait for the process to be in place to make a decision on? Or is that even a commission decision? I mean, does the art commission have control of the wood? Correct, that's what I'm trying to get to.
Boy, it'd be nice, why don't we invite them here and we can talk about this?
I think it's important
I
to
like
talk
that
about
idea.
because
I agree.
I also learned that Gary Oak Society has some say in where the wood goes
Oh,
in discussion about this totem. So I think that
very
Brian Rep is trying to take a pulse on all of the committees as they do with most art thoughts or processes.
That's why we need to put it on the agenda, so we can have all these discussions with them in the room, and we can have some of this ready to go.
I agree. Invite them.
Okay. With that, anything else? Because I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Hey, JR, did we
Yes.
skip member comments?
No, that's why I went around, I saw that it said member comments, so, but if you have member comments, yeah. Go.
I don't have one, but I just wanted to make sure we didn't skip anybody.
Does anybody else have any member?
I'm very excited about the art plan, and my role as a student representative, I'm really excited to take this to the public schools. That sounds really amazing, and kids have lots of opinions when they see public art just sprout up, and they wonder, oh my gosh, this magically appeared in random places, but hopefully this will give them some better insight into how they can be a part of these processes so that we don't just get kids and students just randomly interested once they start to see public art. So hopefully this will be really exciting for
You
them.
guys are the kids are the ones that are doing art for crying out loud.
Exactly.
We might as well, yeah. Okay. Anybody make a motion to adjourn this thing at 6:29, or you want to wait till 6:30?
I make a motion to adjourn.
All in favor, or second? Yeah, all in favor?